from the recap, but who's playing who?
Oh, I'm Ron Borg.
You're Ron Borg. Okay.
I'm Tamiko.
Tamiko. Okay.
Travis is Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. At first, I thought it just said beet juice. I was like, oh, that's an interesting name. Yeah, beet juice.
Yeah. You know, it's a superfood after all.
Yes.
It's nature's candy, don't you know?
He says that, or like, you know, and anytime it was his turn, I just kept thinking of when he sees the Dante's Inferno, what is clearly a strip club, and it's just Michael Keaton like, where can an average Joe like me go to find a little action? He was so good in that.
Oh God. I mean, that's the only reason to watch that movie, really.
It is weird.
To watch Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in forever.
It's phenomenal. It still holds up. It's not like, you know,
Yeah.
one of those ones that like only through the veil of your childhood maintained its like amazingness. I probably watched it 3 or 4 times in the past 10 years or so. And I've recently just showed Ronan, because it's also a little bit like age appropriate. You know, you can't show your 5-year-old it or something like that. So like I just got to that point with Ronan where I'm like, hey. But my dad really loved it, so it would have been
That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm getting the soda. The aforementioned soda.
No worries. But of course, that's a good idea. I will be right back.
So since all of the suits are all PlayStation buttons, I've got to decide which one is actually which. I mean, the triangle is obviously diamonds, you know. But I'm thinking
Well, it could be spades.
that was my original thought, and I'm like, oh no, clearly they're diamonds. They've got to be diamonds.
Was pretty nervous when Ronan almost beat me at Mario Kart the other day. Good setting.
Well, no matter what happens, you always just have to sneak in. I'm better at you than video games. He loves that.
He definitely beat you a couple times, but not in the long run.
I mean, there were a lot of skill games and timing games, which are kind of like the basis of video games, played digitally anyway, and always have been. But like, what games are now, and imagining playing them when you were like single digits or like a 10 or 11-year-old, it's like, what?
Yeah.
And now that he's kind of coming into his own as a gamer, because I really only started to let him play at 9 years. because I wanted to stave that, imaginative, brilliant, fantastical, but also addictive world off as long as I possibly could.
Fiction.
It's quite a thing to see how good they all are. Plus, anytime I play like an online game of most flavors anymore,
Butt
it's always
kicked.
like a very clearly 13-year-old that just ices you.
Oh yeah.
It
it's terrible.
still
Yeah.
makes me laugh though when I think about like hanging out at the Dexter house and, having watched all of you guys play video games for the longest time. And then one day it was like, well, did Seamus try that game yet? And it's like, oh, do we know how soon it can be beaten? And I was like, what? And I can't even remember who it was, but I think it was like Andrew and Ryan. And you were both like, oh yeah. I mean, Seamus is like, yeah, he can play any video game. Like, what do you mean he can play any video game? And I want to say it was Andrew, and he was like, no, he's gifted. And I was like, really? And like, okay.
Basically,
And then I asked like George and Jeremy later, and they were like, oh yeah, totally. And I was just like, this is so funny. This is this thing that I don't know because I don't play with you. Like I just kind of saw it happen,
I'm basically Jeff Bridges from Tron.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Flynn.
Flynn.
We're like one with the game.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. I was ruminating, bored at work, doing benign work stuff. And I was thinking about what my tolerance is for digitally CGIing actors and even dead actors to be younger or even present in films, which you've seen a lot of. It probably started before it in some way, but noteworthy wise, Princess Leia, when they recreated her in Rogue One.
Well, don't forget
Mhm.
Forrest Gump. That was a huge one when they put in the presidents.
Oh, yeah, with Kennedy and Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was
Except
thinking,
for those were they did those with like on black and white TVs, right?
I mean, those were
It wasn't like they were
like green screen.
yeah, they had the buffer zone of deliberately like poor old like tube and
yeah, quality, but still yeah, those look good. Those look pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. And even in the best video games, in the best CGI, teeth and mouths really in general and eyes are what they're really still struggling with. And you could see that in Carrie Fisher. And it was also coming off of her death. So there was a level of tastelessness and color that was a little bit ambiguous. But I was thinking about that. And I'm like, I couldn't think of one that was like immediately acceptable in my mind. And I'm like, ooh, you know what? Jeff Bridges in the Tron sequel was actually perfect, and it was perfect for a number of reasons. One, it was pretty well done, but it wasn't perfect, and you could see it. But I'm like, that's neither here nor there because he is by nature a digitally represented youthful clone of Jeff Bridges, and Jeff Bridges was actually in that movie like Flynn was. Have you ever seen the reboot, Jen? I don't want to spoil anything. You're muted. All right. Well, I should just say, Clone was always like people coming into a video game and it digitizes themselves and they have their digital avatar and they assume that identity. And I'm like, that works through means of narrative and storytelling and because of the behind the scenes digital can do's and cannot do's. And I'm like, that's a big permissible moment when you can like digitally recreate an actor or digitally youthify an actor and have it be completely acceptable in every way. In fact, beneficial to the storytelling.
Huh.
That
Was that
being
what you were
said,
talking about?
Jen, you
Doom?
got to hop on the new Tron. I I was very excited for it. I didn't expect too much. I remember being left wanting more, but every time I see it or think about it again, I'm like, I have better and better reviews of it. And Daft Punk did the soundtrack, and they did so good. For the visuals and the soundtrack alone, it's worth it. But I hope they make a third one, to be honest. And I'm really disappointed they haven't so far.
Except I'll be super sad if they do, because then there's no more Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? There's a lot of, I could probably imagine a couple of different producers in electronica that I'd be more than happy taking that reign over. Like,
I'd be okay with that.
Like, they don't have the name he doesn't have the name recognition of Daft Punk, but Ryan probably might be the only person who would know this, but I believe Amon Tobin would be a fucking dope person to represent a new modern Tron soundtrack, because he does sonic texturing so well and has for like 2 decades in electronic music.
So this is like severely dating myself, although it's probably not, because y'all are too young to even know that this was a thing. I played the Tron game at the arcade
Oh yeah.
a lot when I was 10.
That game is fucking hard in its
That game
Yeah,
is
it's brutal.
really hard. It was one of the few. I mean, honestly, I probably like watched boys play it more than I actually
with
played.
the rotary dial and
With
everything.
the rotary thing, yeah, and you had and you had to.
It's
and I
hard,
still
dude.
remember, like right now, when I'm saying this to you, I can absolutely hear the ping when in the cone it would like drop out the colored like tiles or whatever the fuck they were.
Dude, see,
When
sound
he was in
design
the cone with
and
his,
composition
like,
is so important with how we remember it. Like, you'll remember the sound of it. People talk about remembering the smell of the pizza in the pizza arcades they played. I distinctly remember the smell of chlorine in the air for all of those old games, because I played them at the old Celebrity Sports off of Colorado Boulevard in Louisiana.
Right.
Now. But I distinctly remember pool smells for a lot of those old classic arcade games, because they were even old back then when I was younger, because we're talking about the early and mid 90s, and those were arcade boxes from the early and mid 80s or whatnot, late 80s. I should post this. I came across this great YouTube channel about, this is less of the sound, because I've been so immersed in sound channels and sound designers lately, but it's composition. Has anybody heard of this channel called 8-Bit Music Theory?
No.
YouTube channel? All right, so I've watched several, but the first one that I saw was Beginner's Guide to Voicing and Voice Leading. And the master that they talk about in this is Nobuo Uematsu, Final Fantasy, all the Final Fantasy composers.
Yeah.
And this was a great entrance to that channel, but he has a Zelda series, a Final Fantasy VII series. He has an entire like 15-minute video on the Pepsi Man sax solo and how much it shreds as like a melodic presence. And I'm like, I remember that Pepsi game. But he does a lot of Nintendo stuff. He has a great series on the Hollow Knight soundtrack, which is incredible. Let me see this.
Nice.
But I'm going to post this in the chat for your guys's save for later.
That's a pretty sweet name, Silas Van Dyke.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Is that Andrews?
Nice.
Yeah, I went through probably 24 other names, because I probably put less thought and time into this character than I have, just because I don't know anything about the game so much, and so I was just like, okay, something that sounds cool coming out of a giant robot.
I thought the name they picked for like the archetype was pretty interesting. John Paul Noble.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, the archetype, he's like Canadian. So I'm guessing like French Canadian.
Oh yeah,
It
that makes
seemed
sense.
like,
Yeah, because there's New Ontario, right? Ish.
Well, there's Free Quebec,
Oh, Freako. Yeah, that's right.
and they're practically where the Glitter Boys come from. They've got a factory that makes them there, even though they're ostensibly old world technology. They're just like the height of the old world technology. But Quebec managed to keep one of the factories going. It's the only reason they're still on the map.
Ah.
yeah, because I was reading kind of the backstory of the world, and like they're the only other like major like political figure in North America, right? They
That's
managed
the
to
only other human.
hold their own.
What's that?
Gotcha. Yeah, ostensibly they're the only other human, and it sounded like they're pretty problematic too. But
Yeah, I could go on and on, but yeah, it's like everything that the coalition states is, Quebec is worse.
oh really? Oh okay.
Mhm.
Damn.
You did mention that right at the end the other day. I didn't include that in the notes because I didn't know if it was a thing. Sorry.
It was more for flavor than anything. And I really apologize for talking with my mouth full and all
I love it. It humanizes you, Ish.
that.
Yeah, man, it brings you back down to our level,
Oh my gosh.
back amongst us
Yeah.
mortals.
Is he a man or is he 400 years old? And the answer is he's 400 years old.
I'm just going to turn into who was it from our Eberron game?
Oh,
Billy's character. He was like the super awesome guy.
James
James Conroy.
Conroy. I was gonna say James McAvoy, but that's not it. Yeah, James Conroy.
But
I think
James
he- you know.
Conroy ended up being like the best, most awesome person in the world, and like all of these legends got attributed to him.
Yeah, and it was just like one persona that he put on, originally just to kind of like blend in, I think. But he kept doing all this cool stuff as James Conroy, and so like yeah, the legend spread, and
Gross.
I believe he was supposed to look like Ron Jeremy.
Oh wow, the hedgehog.
Was he ever in Grace or did he fall from it?
He was like on the Grace roller coaster, is really what it was.
In certain circles, he was the definition of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, are we talking about Ron Jeremy or?
Apparently.
I
James
hope
Conroy.
not.
I feel Worm needs to be here for that conversation.
Mhm.
Well, when Billy's character, he described him looking like Ron Jeremy, one of our other players was like, man, I just got back from Las Vegas and you'll never fucking guess it. He pulls out his phone. He's like, we're just walking down the strip and we walk by this bar and there's this guy just sitting in front of this door, just kind of like, it looks like he's passed out asleep. And we're like, is that Ron Jeremy? I think that's Ron Jeremy, just like passed out in the doorway. They end up walking back. They walk into the bar, and this man who is passed out in the doorway is in the bar, awake and just drinking. And no shit, it was Ron Jeremy, and he got a selfie with Ron Jeremy, just looking like absolute shit,
Wow.
just day drinking in a bar.
was
He-
never as far off as what he looked at in his like peak presentation, I'm sure. Like a man like that was always riding a fine wave of like looking like a dirt ball and looking like slightly less of a dirt ball.
Well, from the picture, it looked like the last 20 years had been real hard on him.
Oh yeah, no, he's been chewed up and spit back out.
Yeah, well, I don't usually want to say bad things about people, but it probably couldn't have happened to a more deserving guy. I mean, he's a bit of a monster.
Especially
Allegedly.
when all of that stuff came out and nobody was surprised, but
Yeah.
it was like, oh, girl, come on, man.
Oh, wait. What could the scandal of Ron Jeremy
Everything you'd imagine.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: you couldn't imagine someone like Ron Jeremy being Me Too'd, but he was. And
yeah, I know, right?
It's kind of like
Oh,
when you're
man.
in that industry, there's still like a code of conduct, and clearly the allegations are that he breached it, and so.
Yeah.
It was very delicately.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
yeah. I mean, yeah, there's
Have a gift.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't think it has to be inherent that there are problems with the industry, but I think there probably always will be. But I mean, he was working back in the 70s and the 80s where nobody gave a shit, and like just
Where it was the Wild West and everybody shot from the hip.
So to speak.
yeah.
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
one of those things. Like that doesn't make any of it okay, but it is
No, it doesn't.
context. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean.
Jenny,
Yeah.
you don't have to explain it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
brokenhearted. I'm as brokenhearted as you are.
I know. It's the problem with cancel culture these days. If even Ron Jeremy isn't safe, like
Oh my!
My God.
Just to make it clear, Ron Borg is not named after Ron Jeremy.
Well, Andrew, and
we are splitting hairs here.
that's the sad thing, is that I'm sure that there's someone out there exactly making that argument, like
oh yeah,
not ironically, and that makes
Yeah.
me really.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
Ish, nerd question. What is the plural of Gromek?
Gromek. I'm pretty sure it's just Gromex or Gromex.
Gromex, is it? So there is an S. It's not like the Gromek. Are them collectively as a collective noun?
Well, I don't know. I will consult the texts.
Thank you.
Travis?
And
Wow.
that's the best part, is that you're just as likely to run into a Gromek on Rift's Earth as you are in the Palladian fantasy world.
Oh, I suppose that's totally true, right?
But there's some more pictures of them for you if you're not.
Thank
Like if
you.
you want to get a good idea of what the Gromek look like. But
We fucked up a bunch of Gromek last week.
yeah, you did. That was really impressive. You know what? I take that back. It appears that Gromek is the singular and plural. Bless you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And question, are we playing on like Roll20, or are we doing maps, or are we just
It's on roll 20, yeah.
I'll hop on to Roll20, but like we haven't been using it like overly much.
Okay.
It's been mostly for dice rolls and so on.
And
is it just
Yeah, I don't have a
And
deck
do
of
you
cards, or
prefer-
D6s here for some reason.
do you prefer that we roll on Roll20 instead of manually?
It's it honestly, I don't like, it doesn't matter to me.
well, you know what? I think I'm gonna get my dice out. They have been gathering dust. So I think I'm gonna pull
I
them out.
actually did use some maps, so if y'all want to hop on to Roll20, it kind of helps, but I'm not like super duper like, oh, you have to measure distance and all that.
All right, and it's just the Icewind Dale.
No, it's its own thing. In fact, I might have neglected to send you an invitation, so let me do that now.
Sweet. All right.
Let's see. I'm going to recall all of the cards, and let's shuffle. Cool. That's pretty handy. So it doesn't sound like Chase is going to join us, and I guess we might be able to wait for Luke, but we could start sooner if y'all are okay with that.
Never seems to mind. And it always makes sense because sometimes it's 7 and sometimes it's 7:55. You know,
As long as he's not like shopping for groceries and so on. Let's see. I had the recap, and I don't know why I can't find it anymore. And by the way, I don't know exactly how plugged in people are to DPS, but what the hell is going on at East High School?
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
They've because I've got a kiddo who's going to East High School, but she's remote, but I keep getting these emails about how there's like threats, and today they closed school early, but then they're like, oh, but don't worry, everyone can go back to school tomorrow just like normal. And I'm like, I want to know more.
You know,
Yeah, no, I
a
didn't
lot of
hear
that
anything
stuff
about
they
that.
always have because they've got a very odd spread constituency, and they have many adversaries because they're so good in so many sports.
Oh God. See, that's another thing that I could go on and on about with like the terrible competitiveness of high school sports of all things, but that's for another time.
It sounds like it was a stupid bomb threat or something.
But it's been like 3 separate occasions, and so I don't know if someone's just doing it over and over again or what the deal is. But anyways, so all right, recap for last week. Oh no, this is the wrong one. I was about to recap the what do you call it, the War Drums game, but let me see what it is. Oops. Oh, that's why I can't find it, because it was on my Gmail. Sorry, y'all, bear with me. All right. So we have our setting, and I'm just going to go over that like super briefly. So to go over this kind of very, very quickly, quick and dirty. So we're talking about like in the year 2300 of our kind of supposed fictional future timeline. There's been a minor nuclear exchange in a couple of South American countries, which triggers a nuclear holocaust, which, unbeknownst to anyone else, triggers on some kind of weird planetary alignment a massive explosion of magical energy, which then creates a feedback loop that creates all of these magical storms, brings in demons from other dimensions, and basically where it might have just been a really, really bad nuclear event turned into this completely planet-changing event that just destroys virtually everything and brings people back into what is effectively the Stone Age, but also brings magic back in a huge way. So magic is stronger than it's ever been, like in Arthurian times and so on. And oh no, Andrew left. But continuing on, fast forward 300 years from that point, and humanity, along with a number of other forces and factions, have grown up out of the ashes of destruction that came from that cataclysmic event. That is our current timeline in the world of Rifts, which is in a very, very far post-apocalyptic future, wherein all of these different factions, both magical, technological, vie for control of a planet that is both still very much ruptured from what happened, and also apparently very valuable for being so magical and being such an epicenter of all of these dimensional portals. But that is kind of the overview. Going more into the kind of granular, you all are part of a kind of mercenary outfit called the Tomorrow Legion. The Tomorrow Legion is a lot more egalitarian than your typical mercenary outfit, but they have taken a job from the coalition states being this kind of powerful technological force for humanity, also happen to be pretty fascist. But they have reached out to the Tomorrow Legion to say, hey, one of our big leader type people got knocked out of the air as we were doing a transport. They fell right into a demon's nest. We would really appreciate it if you could rescue this person, if at all possible. And we know that we can't just march an army of technological goons through this demon area. You all are our best hope for getting this person back. So you've gone out. This region corresponds to what used to be St. Louis in the before times, many, many hundreds of years ago. But you've arrived, gone into St. Louis. You tangled with a handful of demons and came out pretty victoriously, showing that you have the acumen to do this. And you found the Death's Head transport, which is one of the premier transport vehicles, like a big hover vehicle of the coalition states. But instead of finding this kind of senator type and his family, you find one person who seems to be held up in a small closet within a parking structure that somehow evaded just being ground to dust in the intervening millennia. But this person is not a human after all, and certainly not some kind of coalition states authority, but an android of some sort or a cyborg. It's kind of not been determined especially well, who introduced himself as Tevis Francois, and he has been very cordial with you as you kind of talked to him. But before you could really get much information out of him, he told you that he could sense something coming, or no, somebody else did, right? Somebody sensed the coming of some like figures, and you all fled before figuring out who these figures were, who were kind of zeroing in on your position. And let's see, Maynard, you're an operator, is that right?
Yeah, he's an operator.
Was able to use a gadget to basically like drop a bug, so to speak, to kind of eavesdrop on whoever these pursuers were. And they said, the subject is nowhere to be found. We need to retrieve him. And that was kind of where we left off. You had left the parking garage with these folk in hot pursuit and not knowing much more than that. And that is where we opened. Did I miss anything that anybody happens to remember of just the kind of info dump that I just gave you? So yeah, and you're still in the St. Louis demon zone. You're still trying to figure out what to do from here. And you are mostly certain that the coalition states has just openly lied to you about the entirety of this mission. And so those are the things that you should think about as you make your next moves and figure out what you're going to do with Tevis.
Yeah, we questioned him pretty thoroughly, and he was unable to say kind of what knowledge he has that the coalition clearly wants, right? He was like refusing that.
Well, he said that he couldn't tell us, that it would put us in danger. but that he has spent the last 300 years like searching for something to give him meaning, something important.
Right.
But whatever he's involved in has angered a lot of people, and he does not want us to take him back to the coalition.
Right. Yeah, very clearly. And yeah, now we're starting to think that they sent us on a suicide mission.
Yes.
So do you want to kind of go on the run from this point? Do you want to just go full speed and go in a direction? Or do you want to find a place to hold up and try and figure out your next move?
Can we ask Tavis what his opinion is, his recommendations on what we do, or if he has a stronghold somewhere nearby?
So he does say, if you would be willing to take me, I need to go to a satellite station. It has been, to the best of my knowledge, preserved underground as a bunker, and will allow me to access the information that I need. My reconnaissance has shown that it is unfortunately next to a demon spawning pit, but the same reconnaissance says that it is dormant.
A dormant demon spawning pit?
That is correct.
I remain skeptical.
Well, to me, that sounds like our
Fun.
best option right now.
So he needs to go
Thoughts?
to a satellite station?
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for that.
It is in what used to be a suburb of this area. Not terribly well intact, but I think there are some supply roads that may still be accessible there.
I'm all right to go. Should we have is everyone in agreement? Should we
Yeah.
have a certain formation to follow?
I mean,
Well,
I can
do
go
we
up
all
front.
still fit in the vehicle? And Maynard keeps like upping
Yeah,
the
I'm confused on how big the vehicle is.
So the vehicle, I mean, I can carry somebody in shotgun comfortably with a harness. The rest of you can cling on to it. That's usually how we roll. I kept it very light. I didn't bring my big guns, but let me tell you something. This thing is modular. I can attach anything to it with enough time. If we're on a roll, you guys are going to hold on for dear life. I don't know. I'm curious as to what this big shiny bastard we have with us. That looks like a feat of engineering. I'm loving myself a glitter boy. Anytime I set eyes on it, I just salivate.
I don't think I've showed up yet.
I don't know about what glitter anything I was talking about previously. I think I went into a trance there. No, this thing is widely modular, but you know, I didn't expect to have a full crew. This thing is an extremely capable and flexible pack mule, you know. But it can carry the whole party, and I can carry the whole party with the pedal to the metal for, you know, a couple hours, but nobody save two people is going to ride it comfortably.
Did anyone
No,
see another vehicle around here?
I will say that given the obvious nature of Glitter Boys, you all very likely see something glistening in the distance.
What's
It
that?
takes you a little bit out of your way, but you do see something kind of trudging across the path. What's that?
doesn't look like a demon, y'all.
Shiny demon.
I don't know if we should approach that.
Tiny demon in the middle of the road.
I flip a visor that lets me activate my optics package, and I say, I know what that is. Guys, we got a glitter boy on our hands here.
What is a glitter boy?
I don't know. Like how far away am I? Would I take
Like-
notice of them?
A mile or two. And yeah, you would see this big armored, not big, this is like mid-sized armored vehicle kind of moving around.
Okay. Since I don't know what that is, I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna use an action to dig in, which means I stabilize myself and prepare my my boom gun, which is this massive like cannon that comes up off of my shoulder, and I hold it and I'm just preparing to shoot at whatever is coming at me.
Are you all making your way towards this ostentatious or powered fellow?
I think so.
So we know these to be like widely employed by the coalition, especially like could it be that given history and given the current circumstance that such things and entities and pilots could waver in terms of moral ambiguity and faction allegiance and whatnot?
So you've got generally two kinds of glitter boys. You've got the ones that are like part of the army that composes the forces of Free Quebec, and you've got the ones that are like somehow or another they inherited this armor. They're highly inheritable, and they just kind of go around and like not unlike the old Incredible Hulk show. They just kind of like wander from town to town, doing good along the way, but never really stopping at any one place. So
Way of the
generally
Ronin.
speaking, if you see one lone glitter boy, it's more likely that they're a freewheeling adventurer than anything else.
And I like to point out if Maynard can see me so well, I'm not going to look anything quite like your regular glitter boy. For one thing, I am not the shiny silver, like the chrome color. I'm more of a gold color, and across much of the armor plating is it with like kind of the dust and dirt of like living on the road. There's like spray paint all over there. Parts of it look like it might have been spray painted to be like parts of it are spray paint, accented spray painted blue. And there's a spray painted star in the middle of the chest. But other places, it's obvious that like somebody just came by and just tagged like the other parts as much as they could. So whatever glitter boys you've seen before, this is not them.
So we'll say I cock my head and I'm like, as it gets closer, this thing looks kind of derelict, nothing like I see. I mean, the form factor is there, but man, and then I just kind of start to describe what Andrew was describing. Graffiti, plastered, varying in allegiance, looks like it was left under a pedestrian bridge in Manhattan for a century.
Are we not all together?
Okay, so
I think we're all on the vehicle, but Maynard is using his optics to see further ahead.
Yeah.
Tamiko is innately curious, and has +2 notice rolls. So can I do a notice roll?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, it's a 6.
Cool.
Oh, +2, 8. So it is a raise.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, so I don't know, I'll say you have something that allows you to see further, some, simple device. And you get a pretty good look at this glitter boy. And it definitely seems like it is just kind of minding its own business mostly, kind of wandering around a little aimlessly. And you do notice those details, that it is a little bit shabbier than your average glitter boy.
And do I notice the gun?
The gun is like half the girth of this thing. Like it really is like,
Hard to miss.
oh yeah,
Like an anime gun.
it
Oh, yeah.
really is.
So you guys, I don't know exactly what that is, but he's got a big gun. He doesn't look too aggressive, but the weapon itself makes me think we should communicate a little with him before we run up on him.
Is there some kind of way to show that we mean no harm?
You're within communications range if you wanted to. Glitter Boy power armor tend to have a whole communications array the way a vehicle would.
Does someone want to send a message? Can the Borg or the operator send some sort of electronic message?
I do have a radio.
Yeah, well,
Try that.
I'm not sure if you guys can see it from where you are, but as you guys are talking about this, the gun is powering up. Like cinematically, that's where the close-up would be on the gun, and the little lights just kind of, start glowing, at the top.
Neat.
All right.
I shared a handout with y'all.
In my, oh, sorry. I see that. Awesome. In my core electronics package, I do have, a radio with 20-mile range.
okay.
Try and
You guys, he is looking more aggressive. The gun is on.
Guys,
We have a message.
that guy is sucking in energy. We got to put this white flag in the air now. I do not want to be on the business end of that cannon.
all right, I'll radio him. Hello there, friend. Are you out here trying to, I don't know what you're doing here. We come in peace, kind of.
We mean no harm. We mean no harm.
Ron, this thing wields death uncertain. I suggest you approach it with a little bit more conviction here, buddy.
You hear from the other end, stop your vehicle and get out. I will hold fire as long as you walk up.
I'm the
I
binders.
shoo everybody out of the vehicle, and I push a panic button that puts this thing into a collapsed box.
Can we keep Tavis? Can we keep Tavis in there, like secured in there?
Will he fit?
Not with the button I just pressed. Everybody out. Everybody out. Everybody out. This thing is going back into airdrop mode.
Turns into jelly.
Like a reverse transformer.
Yeah, this thing turns into roughly the same shape as when it was paratrooped onto the terrain. This thing is nothing but a bunch of, a cube of super alloy and steel and blah 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 blah.
Well, I put my hands right up and I just start cautiously approaching.
On the other end of the radio, as you guys are getting closer, state your business.
We are
We're
We're
here
here.
on-
travelers.
Yeah, we have no intent. We were hired. We are of the Tomorrow Legion. We were hired to find a VIP and extract the VIP. We came across some hostiles. We dealt with them accordingly. We are not on a search and destroy mission. I repeat, we are not on a search and destroy mission.
I mean, really, right now we're just looking for a radio tower.
Ish, the Tomorrow League is pretty well known, right? They're like another well-known faction.
Yeah, they're kind of an up and coming group. There, you wouldn't call them necessarily influential, but they're well known at this point.
Okay.
Basically, they're kind of like the underdog kind of startup movement. They're a burgeoning force within the region. But yeah, everybody knows about them, but they're just this kind of like small, idealistic group.
Okay.
Also,
so
that's a
yeah.
pretty neat gun you got there.
I agree.
So yeah, as soon as they like pretty much mention that they're with the Tomorrow League, his Digan will disengage, and his boom gun will kind of retract and kind of like rest upright on his shoulder. And he'll walk up and say, "I'm sorry, I've newly found myself in these parts, and if it's not demon hordes, it's coalition soldiers that I can't afford to dally with at the moment. I'm sure you understand a bit of caution." And then he looks at Ron and says, "Yes, this is one hell of a gun."
Can I get anybody who is interested in doing so to make me a notice check?
I have +2. I'm always happy to. Oh,
Good.
and I have an exploding 6,
Ooh.
7 + 2,
Kaboom.
9.
All right, Tamiko, you notice that, Tamiko, you notice that there is some strange figure on some kind of like a beastly mount that is very quietly trying to sneak up on you. When I say you, I mean this whole group. But you were able
from,
to,
like the opposite side of where Glitter Boy is.
correct, basically coming to you from where you came from.
So from the city.
Yep. As you get a bit,
Y'all, someone might want to take a peek over their shoulder. If it's not one on one side, it's on the other.
Yeah,
and it's
Silas
still a
will go
notice?
ahead and take a look.
anyone who would like to go ahead and make a notice check. The DC is 3. It's not terribly.
Real quick on the skills, when the skill is in red, what does that mean?
It's just your givens.
They're like basic skills that everybody has, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So
And do
Sorry,
we
what was the
always
check? Or what was the roll?
Notice.
and do we always roll the wild dice of d6?
Always.
Everything?
For checks, not damage.
Except for damage, but everything else you always roll a d6 with it because it's your like.
Ooh.
I got a 3.
um
Oh no, I got a 6.
So if you get a 6, you roll that again.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Silas got a
All of
5.
you have exploding dice.
All right. Yeah, it looks like all of you did well enough, and you notice this figure, and it appears to be this the heavily armored woman, and she is kind of slinking. It's weird. She's riding on this strange kind of bipedal beast, and they're both heavily armored. But she's just kind of slinking through the city, trying to sneak up on you.
Does she seem like human or?
It's difficult to say, because of all of the armor. She's so heavily armored, it's possible she could potentially be something like a cyborg or some other kind of thing. You're just not 100% sure. You think you'd have to get closer, which of course is kind of the point.
Do we keep moving?
Well, we should probably find out what she wants.
Call her out.
Okay.
We see you.
I'm gonna pull out my well, I don't know, is that too aggressive? I'm gonna get my my rail gun ready.
Yeah, Silas is gonna pull out the I don't even know what to use. Goodness. Just the laser pistol.
Ron Borg, was that a Ray O gun?
Rail, like
Rail.
railway.
uh,
And
do you
go
want
ahead.
something with us, friend?
So she's about at, let's call it 20 yards, and realizes that she has been noticed. And she just stops and says, "Oh, I didn't realize you'd seen me, but I did come to inspect things." She speaks with a very kind of booming voice. It almost sounds like she is. You've all seen or heard this before. Like some creatures who have been augmented through cybernetics can have like basically a what do you call it? Like a bullhorn in their throats, and so she kind of speaks like that.
So she came to inspect things. Is that the word you used?
Correct.
For what reason do you have to inspect things?
So far away from any inspection station.
We have lost something. We seek to recover it.
Who is we?
We are the Shemarians.
Oh,
We may be far from home, but our jurisdiction extends here for this particular purpose.
We're all far from home. I don't know if I like the sound of nomadic jurisdiction here. You want to be a little bit more clear?
would we know who the Shemurian? Sorry, did I say that wrong? Shemirians are.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, let's see. And I'm trying to upload a picture so that I can show you.
And furthermore, do any of us recognize them from the war? Allegiance
see.
or what have you?
There's a skill. I don't think it's quite history, but it's kind of like common knowledge, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh, not very good at that.
Me neither.
5 on 5.
5. Oof.
Mm,
5. So you guys remember that a 4 is like exists.
Oh, that's right.
Like a 4 hits, it's just like barely, but you need a raise, like you need to get an 8 for things to be good.
Okay,
But a 4 is like, okay, like you did
middle
whatever.
of the road.
Yeah. 4 is like you've succeeded.
All right then.
8, let's say, is
5.
you've knocked it out of the park. I shared with you a picture of what more or less it was like.
Bless you.
But any of you who at least made 4 know that the Shemarians are a mysterious group of warrior women who exist along the East Coast. No one's really quite sure what they're about. Were they brought here from another dimension? Are they some kind of local group? Are they even human? But most stories about them know that A, they are superhuman in some way, shape, or form. B, they have this strange, impenetrable kind of nomadic culture. And C, no one's ever captured one alive, and they're not really sure why. So they're very mysterious, very nomadic, and very powerful. They're not unlike your Amazons, but they all do seem to have a fairly impressive range of technology, both on themselves and for their kind of exterior weapons. In fact, Silas, the weapon she is wielding may not be as powerful as a boom gun, but only by a small measure.
Are you here
Um,
alone?
I am here standing before you alone.
I can see
Gotta
that.
say, I've always wanted to meet one of you guys. Man, your abilities are impressive, but your tech, my God. Can I have a look?
I politely decline.
Maybe we factor it into a little bit of a bartering situation. You want something from us, we want something from you. Let's talk. We're all passive here. We're not on a mission. I'm sure that's going to conflict with yours, but I make it a mission of mine to, explore what technological avenues are before me.
What I seek is important enough that I may consider your bargain.
I am absolutely fine with signing a non-disclosure agreement of certain proportion. I just want to see what's under the hood.
Oh God, Seamus, you're signing more contracts. This doesn't work out.
Well, what is it you are looking for? We don't know if we have it unless we know what you got.
How can we be of service?
I am looking for the individual known as Tevis Francois.
Tevis Francois.
Where
Never
is
heard
he?
of him.
Rings a bell, but I don't know. I mean, what interest of it is of yours, and perhaps if we share information, we can, co-op and pincer attack the problem at hand here.
Wait,
I-
isn't he like with us? Does
Yeah,
she
I
know what he
turn to
looks like?
Ron and I say, "Where is he?"
I'm not gonna be a jerk, but I just had this image of like Ron Borg coming out of the transport and being like, "Hey, isn't this the guy? Like, isn't this the guy right here?" And like right in front of her, and she's
This
just like,
guy?
"Oh."
This one?
Oh, yeah.
But no,
Francois.
you didn't say that. But yeah, it's the guy that's with you. That's
He makes
the-
a hell of a cup of coffee.
But so she doesn't seem like she knows who he is, though, by appearance.
And what does Tavis do when she says that? Does he recoil? Does he hide behind one of us? Does he just stand there?
He's been just kind of like, leaning against the cube that used to be the transport and trying to stay out of sight.
And she sees him or doesn't?
She hasn't yet. She
Does
hasn't
he
yet like gotten a visual on it.
So my
does
point,
he hear that she's looking for him? And does he,
He
read it?
does, and he's mechanical mostly, and so you're not sure if he has a natural poker face or if he can't, super express himself. But he doesn't. He's just like leaning against the cube that used to be the transport, and is just kind of, What I will say, if someone wants to make just choose one person to make a notice check on Tevis.
Tomiko.
You're super notice lady.
I am. Oh, although that was not a good one. Well, 2 + 2 is a 4, so it like.
You see something going on with his eyes. It was just for a second. You think that it would be. It's almost like you could have looked and perceived a little bit more, but it was almost too rude to just like look right at him. But you noticed that there was something going on there. That being the case, she does say, I can tell you that I have been hired by a third party to apprehend this individual, and that is all that I can tell you. I cannot reveal the nature or identity of the third party.
Never
What
heard
is
of him.
what is the origin of your weapon?
It is old Earth technology, and that is all I will say, unless we come to a bargain.
I just noticed that it looks an awful lot like this. And he dramatically just like,
She
Anime style.
responds, yes, just
with
And
the
I'm sure
sun
it's, like,
glistening
right
off
at
the armor.
camera. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the camera's like right on it, and like with a fisheye lens, and it's all
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Maynard is taut right now.
I get the feeling that his pants are starting to get taut.
Oh my God. So, so she does respond and say, the comparison has been drawn in the past. It is not a new observation. But yes, they come from similar pedigrees, shall we say.
So what do the boom gun and
And her weapon.
Guys. Before we start pulling it all out and comparing each other's
Units.
guns, I mean, how much of a mission is this? I mean, it's an individual. These are dangerous lands. Forgive our apprehension and pensiveness, but we were kind of dropped in here, just trying to figure out what's going on with the East Coast, and we're not liking what we're seeing here so far. This is an emergent scenario.
Well, and before you
How
go
can we
much
help?
further, I want to point out as the game master, you're not near the East Coast, which makes her presence here that much weirder. But you're at St. Louis. You're like Missouri.
No, it's Midwest. That's
Our
right.
turf.
We are in that's right.
But
They're,
I mean,
they're
that up
from
just to-
they're from the East Coast,
Correct.
and we're both in. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, and I'm not trying to
Right,
like
right,
bust
right,
your
right.
chops, but I'm just saying
No, you're right.
it's weird that she's here, and I want the point. Like, I want that to be apparent.
Scratch
And-
what I said and insert Midwest into
Yeah.
that narrative.
Yes. Now, with Maynard's big mouth, did she catch on to what our mission was?
I mean, she's. Let me answer that with some dialogue, and she says, "I was thinking perhaps you were just moving through the area, and I wish to confirm. What I have confirmed is that you know more than you're letting on."
Never heard of him.
Don't know
Well,
yet.
I don't
Perhaps
know.
we can help you find this person, and then I don't know. Perhaps we're working a trade for services.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. How do we get in touch with you later?
She's nonplussed about this. I need for at least one of you, potentially more, to make a deception check, because she's kind of like, she's really giving you the
Oh, no.
The,
Persuasion.
eyeball. Yeah. Well, persuasion or deception.
So, do I have deception?
I don't
Luke,
think
were you
there's a
going to say
deception.
something?
Oh, no, sorry, I'm still driving.
Okay.
I
I
don't,
heard Luke driving noises, and I wanted to make sure that we weren't ignoring.
6.
Oh, no, it's such a bummer because there's so many opportunities for a guy that can read minds to be useful.
That's a bummer.
Well,
Um,
and if
can
you
he read
wanted,
her mind?
if you wanted to try, you can't. She has something that prevents it,
ooh,
Oh,
and it's
Maggie.
very obvious. It's not like, ooh, this is some weird like mysterious. It's like she's got something, like some lead plate in her, something that makes it.
Magneto helmet.
Beetlejuice,
Um,
you got one of your tinfoil hats.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ish, real quick.
Yeah.
I don't see a deception on here. Are we talking about persuasion?
I guess it's persuasion. I'm trying to think back to the character sheet, and I thought that there was something like deception.
Survival taunt.
So okay. So I just I
There's
rolled
performance.
I rolled a 6 and a 4, which is the max on both for persuasion.
Okay,
So I would get to
now
roll
both
the
of
4
those-
again.
No, you roll both of those again.
Oh, I
Correct.
do. Okay.
Just
But-
keep in mind that they're two separate tracks. So if
Right,
for
okay.
whatever reason you roll the 4 a bunch of times and that comes out higher than the 6, that's what you take. But
Okay.
because they're both high numbers, you keep rolling each of them.
And it says, sorry, I have a thing on here that I have a +1 on social checks, and the reaction table with allies. I don't think she's an ally though. So
No.
okay. Okay, so
Well, yeah,
that's
an
a-
ally could, you know always have
That's
a
a-
new friend.
She is a well-wisher in that she doesn't wish you any particular harm.
So I think the bigger one was on the D6, and I got a total of 11.
Oh, very nice. So
Is it plus one? Is that considered social?
to do what now?
It says with allies, and or has connections with the Glitter Boy Brotherhood, which I don't think she has. So I don't think I get the +1 on this.
11 is still really good.
I'll take it.
Is impressively good. She is apprehensive, visibly so, and she kind of puts her visor down so you can't see her facial expression after a few seconds. She kind of sets her massive weapon into like a side holster on her beast, and she calls out to you with her megaphone vocal cords and just says, "I'll keep an eye on you, and if I notice something strange, I will decide then if it is time to parlay or to act." And she dashes off on her beast.
Is that like a robot ant? What was she writing?
Well, I turn back to everybody else and I say, well, I mean, doesn't seem like anything odd is going around here.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
yeah,
who?
I introduced myself. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm 10 feet tall, so I wonder if I can see over the little cube vehicle, if I can see the other person that I haven't met and haven't spoken to.
Probably you can, I would say. And to be completely just helpful to everybody, why don't we all kind of introduce our characters again? A for Andrew, who wasn't here last time, and then just to kind of get a refresher of who is who.
I'm Ron Borg. I'm a combat cyborg, and I'm super psyched to be here. Love going on missions. Love supporting the Tomorrow Legion, and I'm just here for the team. Don't really remember who I was when I was a human, but that's okay. I really like fighting. I like killing, but only bad guys. Mostly bad guys, I think. But yeah, just tell me what to do, and I'll help out.
I'm Beetlejuice. I am from the underbelly of Vegas, and I know people in all the wrong places. And I heard that I could be of service, and there might be a reward. And so I joined the team, and here to help succeed, whatever it takes.
I'm Tamiko. I grew up and trained at Laszlo. I believe that what the Tomorrow Legion represents is the future, and I want to be part of something bigger than myself.
My name is Maynard. I'm an operator. I like to tinker. I like to tinker a lot. I believe it's the only thing that should be in this world right now. I'm not against magic. I just served in the war on the front lines time and time again where magic was the priority, where machines and machinery could have picked up the slack just as good, if not better. I just try to right the wrongs in this world as best as I can and as forward as I can, and I am not sorry about it. I could really only find that sentiment with the Tomorrow Legion, so here I am.
All right. And the golden glitter boy that's just covered in paint and graffiti just looks down and says, "You may call me Golden Boy."
I love it.
Yeah. To be forthright, yeah, I put in the character's name, but at this point, you guys only know him as Golden Boy right now.
Okay, nice.
That works.
Should we tell him who Luke is?
Sure.
That's not a bad idea.
Doesn't matter. So Luke is a guy named Terry, and he's a mind reader. That's essentially what you need to know.
He's the mind melter.
Yeah.
He's a mind
But he's
melter. but he
blind.
can read. Oh, and he's blind, and he has a lightsaber.
yeah.
And he can read the mind of any sentient being unless there's a reason he can't. So it's interesting that he can't read her mind.
Ooh.
Wait, I thought the funny thing was that the only weapon he had was a gun.
Oh, even though he's blind.
Right.
So he does not have a lightsaber. Was that like in the beginning and then?
Oh yeah, and like all the pictures of the mind melters have lightsabers, but all he has is a laser pistol.
Okay.
Well, and to be fair, I think what he has is Scizor, which is basically just like through your mental power, you can just summon like a psychic blade.
Okay,
Like not unlike Psylocke from X-Men.
that's
but-
cool.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Golden Boy, are you just perusing the outskirts of St. Louis right now, or what seems to be your mission?
Well, currently I'm avoiding some people. And I figured they may not want to chase me all the way out here.
I don't blame them.
Mm. Man, I really wish I had like a voice modulator,
That'd
for,
be
you
sweet.
know, talking
I
from
was thinking about
inside
that the
the
other day,
suit.
like if like Roll20 like really could step up their game and like add like
Yeah.
effects that you could put on and stuff.
There's ways you
Mhm.
can do all of that, but it's all kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, I've seen people do that. But you remember when I was when we had the Eberron game and I was doing Big Daddy? This isn't even as good as it used to. Like with just a soda can.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
That'd be pretty sweet if they just had some like really quick little.
Well,
effects you could put on your voice.
if you were all aligned with the Tomorrow League, perhaps I can travel with you for a spell. I'm sure you could find use for this fantastic gun. And he does the pose again.
Duh.
And
Well-
I could certainly use a few others watching my back.
Well, to be above board here, that last conversation we had might have been somewhat of a little fib. As we can we call over Tavis and kind of introduce him a little?
Oh, did we get that lady's name?
no.
Oh, bummer.
Damn it.
Always ask their name.
Okay, so Tavis, is he
have
is he
like a little like Borgie bond?
Say that one more time.
Do Tavis and Glitter Boy have like a little Borgie androidy bond?
Not yet.
Okay.
In
Well,
fact, if
I'm a robot too.
I was gonna say if there's any kind of a bond, it might be either between Tavis and Ron Borg. Sorry, Tavis specifically Tavis. Oh, or Tavis and Maynard.
Is it Tevis Tevis and I spelled it wrong last time?
I don't remember how you spelled it, but yes, it's Tevis, Tevis.
Ooh, okay.
Sorry, that usually I'm really good about writing out the name, so that was on me.
No, you're fine. I should have asked. All right.
And now I forget in the description in the recap, is he like partially like blown up with like wires hanging out?
So he's got like
Yes.
one arm missing, and it's just like kind of exposed wiring and whatnot,
Gotcha.
and he's got like some battle damage. Not unlike Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator, the first one, where it's like at some point you just kind of see like exposed mechanical stuff, even though it's not so much damage. It's like whatever artificial skin was over it is now just like all blown off or whatever.
Gotcha. Well, so this is the one she was looking for.
Yes, and we were sent on a mission.
So
to
why do
retrieve
you have him? Oh,
We must be a little
Retrieve 'em
better at
for
our
whom?
mission than she is.
She would have told
But
us
who
if
are
she was
you
also
retrieving him
hired by
for?
the.
She wouldn't. I know. That's unfortunate.
Well, we're not sure who we're retrieving him for anymore.
There's something shady
Okay.
going on there.
Yeah.
Wish we would have gotten
the-
a little bit more information on Tevis from this chick. Why are many people, or at least many powerful people, interested in you? And I go over to him and I pick him up by the neck and I slam him against my ATV.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What are you doing?
Hey, we tried playing nice before and he wouldn't tell us any information. I say go for it, Maynard.
I don't know if we have to
Persuade
get
him.
violent.
5.
All right, and this is to intimidate, I'm guessing.
Persuade, but yeah.
Right. So,
Aggressive negotiations.
negotiations with the clenched fist.
I'm just unhappy. I'm just unhappy that we're not the only one looking for such a bloke.
Yeah. So you do that, and he still has his kind of poker face or whatever you would end up effectively calling it. And Tevis just says, "What would you like to know?"
Why is everyone after you?
And where did you get captured and by who?
I was making my way in this direction from the East Coast, from the what was once called the New Jersey region. I stumbled across a coalition patrol, was captured. They were trying to bring me to their headquarters, and they made a mistake. They traveled over this demon territory in their haste to get me to them, and the demons downed the transport.
And they just
stumbled.
stumbled upon you and weren't in search of you beforehand.
No, but they want me very badly now that they know what I am.
And what are you?
They think that I am an advanced android, a machine completely made of artificial intelligence and machine parts. But the truth is that I once did have a human body and a human mind.
Me too.
So you're
My
a
buddy Ron
cyborg.
Borg over here's got the same. He doesn't claim to be special.
Well, there's a little bit more
I
to
just
it.
work here.
Oh
Ron
man,
Borg
how
is
many
like-
jobs? How many jobs have I said that? I'm not special. I just work here.
But he just says, "This is artificial. My brain is a machine, but the essence within it was once that of a man's."
And how rare is this currently in technology and how unique are you in the military powers that be here?
I'm not caught up to how much technology has advanced or declined since I've come into my unique condition. I think it's better to say that what I am is not as important as what I know.
I think that's exactly what I'm alluding to. We were handed this by a high level power. I'm willing to bet even a high level power beyond that handed this mission to them. We're getting paid an inconceivable amount of money to retrieve you. And I'm beginning to draw a bunch of question marks as to why. What do you know?
I know the sky. I know the stars. I know the moon and many of the things in between. And I need to know something very important, and it is in that satellite relay station that we are only a few miles from.
I bet you could
Wow.
wager a guess as to why the Shamarian nation is upon you, even more than what we know right now.
She said she was hired too, and I wonder if the coalition is just sending a bunch of people after this guy.
The Shamarians are not allied with the coalition states.
Hmm.
Looks to
Well,
me like
I'd
you're the
say,
fellow of the ball here, partner.
Yeah, very
was that,
popular.
Beetlejuice, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I roll a notice check and maybe see if he is on the up and up here?
Sure, by all means.
Ooh.
You do have a pretty good idea that he wouldn't be telling you all of this if he was lying. Like if he was going to make up some kind of a fanciful story, you think he'd say something different than that.
And remind me why he wanted us to get him to the satellite tower, or the
So far, all he said is that he's in search of one particular bit of information, and that's the only way he thinks he can get it. He hasn't elaborated on that yet.
Something
And
he
if he-
needs to know is at the satellite.
If he gets that, will he tell? Can we get him to tell us
Yeah, he'll
like what his mission is?
says-
If we help him.
If you do this for me, I will impart upon you some secrets that could potentially make you very rich and or important, depending on how you wish to use that knowledge.
I mean, that better be pretty profound, Frank, because I'm telling you right now, we were going to be rich and likely going to be famous just by taking you back to the exfil and bringing you right back to where we came from. Nobody mentioned anything about a station or whatever. And as much as that tickles my fancy to go to, something tells me the people that hired us to bring you out of here knew nothing about this station or didn't care for that mission enough to tell us to bring you to it.
The reason they're not looking for it is that they don't know that it exists. And even if they did, they don't have the keys.
So let me tell you something, for the sake of nobility, which I try to uphold more times than not, what is this going to do compared to us just bringing you right back from where we came from?
If you are interested at all in unlocking the gate that leads to space, you could very well be delivering the keys to that gate to the coalition states.
Aha. So last time, one of the bits of lore that was dropped on us was that they don't have any space travel there in this world.
Correct.
They have magic, but no space travel.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty cool. I don't know. I think we're sitting ducks out here right now, and we should make our way to this satellite.
Everything about this is alluring to me. And I think you have me sold. But I got to find out, how dangerous can this be to the people of this planet? Are we taking a big risk here? Is this a big gamble? Could we be opening up something that swallows our planet as we know it? All the people, all the innocent people.
Hey, the coalition has been pretty scary for a while now, and I was uneasy taking any of their money. So I don't know. I'm more inclined to believe this guy than
Yeah.
to, who, is definitely unusual. But
But
rather
joining
than
the
bring it back to
tomorrow,
coalition,
joining
I'm
the
gonna-
Tomorrow Legions is the last lesser of two evil decisions that I vowed I would ever have to make.
Is this the same lady? Is this the lady that we saw earlier before I jumped off for a second? That was in the armor that I couldn't read the mind? Is this who we're talking to right now?
No.
No, she's gone. She's kind of made her way.
Oh,
So she's vowed to keep an eye on you.
and who are we talking to right now?
Now you're talking to Tevis Francois,
Okay.
the weird android
This
that
is the
you
guy
found
we've
in-
had captive. This is the guy we found at the end of last campaign or
Yeah.
last session. And he's like an AI machinery. Yeah. I gotta say, combination between keeping something so profound outside of corporate rule and a little bit more closer to the purse, which is our hands immediately, mixed with my very piqued curiosity. I personally vote we go for the station and we keep a close eye on Francois as he does it. Well, let's do this thing.
I say we go.
I agree. I certainly have no love for the coalition, and I would not aid any of you in furthering their goals.
Can I
Sounds
ask you one
like,
last question, Francois?
Please.
This gate you speak of, this power, is it more magic or is it more tech?
It is technological, but when this technology so advanced that it may as well be magic.
Well, game on, ladies and gentlemen. Game on.
And Beetlejuice, you were about to say something?
oh, I was just about to welcome Golden Boy to the group. If you're, if we're all aligned here and this is something that interests you, come on board.
What with my eyes being blind and my sensitive telepathy, I'm getting a lot of interference, like somebody's listening to music.
I know something's coming through on the radio.
Yeah.
I may or may not be dropping some hints.
Okay, well, it's hard to hear. I definitely
No,
got
Is it not coming through?
It's like I hear like a bit of it and then it clips out and I
On
can't.
Yeah.
Borg, turn that music up.
I was nervous last time because I played
Turn that
some music.
radio up.
It was like too loud, so tell me if it's like super distracting.
I totally assumed it was Seamus.
I heard Bowie
I thought it was
earlier.
Seamus too.
I
thought it was
absolutely thought it was also me.
And I didn't want to sandstorm you like yesterday.
Well, I did get the David Bowie. That's the only one that I recognized.
I heard.
Let me see if it's
Music
again.
is a hard
Grand
one for me because,
control to Major Tom.
you know, I host the Spotify listening session for all of our endeavors.
With everybody here with all their technology, nobody has Spotify in their mech.
It's all Pandora. Spotify
Yeah.
was.
I was gonna say I have a
Shazam.
cassette player built in, but that's it.
Is it coming in okay? It's not too loud.
Oh, now I can hear it. I hear ground control to Major Tom now.
But at any rate, so Tavis does say, I don't wish to be deceitful to you at all, and I don't want you to think that I am leading you into a trap. But when we get to the satellite station, the entrance is guarded by two powerful robots. My intention was to tend to them single-handedly. If you wish to help, I will not stop you, but I would sooner not risk your lives if you are already helping me with this.
They're not allies then?
They are simply automatons, robots made to guard the satellite from anyone without the proper clearance, and the people with proper clearance have all died 300 or so odd years ago.
Are you a person with proper clearance?
I might have been once, but not in
How
my
old are you? How old is the mind that used to be you?
I would say 339 years, give or take a decade or two.
How were you preserved?
As I mentioned before, all of this is artificial. It is merely my essence that has been transported into this form.
By who?
Myself. It is a sad story that I'm not sure we have the time for, but if you would like me to, I can regale you with it.
I'm good.
Let's do it on the ride.
Yeah, I think perhaps we should move along before we attract more attention.
So do you think you're going to be able to get past these automatons without conflict, or is this going to be an issue?
It will be difficult, but I am assuming the risks.
Of almost guaranteed combat, or is there a way around them?
Yeah, let's
As
just
a
kill him.
character, and he's not responding, but I'm telling you, like, you could, in theory, work them without combat, but you'd have to have like very specialized skills or very potent magic.
Now we got this guy with a big gun. Now let's just go.
right.
I do have to. I do have to say, we really don't want to be firing this off unless we absolutely have to.
Right.
You don't have a silencer on
I
it?
give him like a cyborg
No.
wink. I'm like, sure.
No, no. It's if any of you are near me, it's not gonna be good for you. It'll be worse for them, but it's not gonna be good for you.
Oh, would you say it's like deafeningly loud? Because I'm already missing one sense, and I'm really can't be losing.
Yeah.
Cannot lose another.
Yeah, to metagame a bit, it's it is deafeningly loud. And if you fail your vigor check, you are shaken and or possibly stunned.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, well, give us a heads
Totally
up.
worth it. Yeah, we'll just
I will be fine,
plug our
but,
ears.
but you all and my targets are gonna get fucked up a bit.
I feel with my audio setup, I can just turn it down, you know?
Yeah, I feel Maynard has got to have some audio soak going on.
Well, that's all fine and good. I don't.
It does say anybody with hearing protection can ignore the penalty.
I also want to point out that you are effectively butted up against a big demon nest. And Andrew wasn't here for this last time. But I did mention that if you made some kind of a big racket or fracas, you'd probably be descended upon by dozens, if not hundreds of demons. So shooting off a boom gun is...
Deluge of demons was what
Yes.
Deluge of demons.
Oh yeah, I guess that'd probably draw attention.
How often can you shoot that thing?
Well, from what I'm sorry, would you mind turning that down a bit? It is a little.
All right.
It is a little hard for me to make out some of what people are saying.
Is that better?
Yeah. I think it's got a rate of fire of 1, but I have 100 shots.
Okay.
So I can shoot it a bunch.
So you can let that thing rip pretty regularly.
Yeah, but I can't do a whole lot else. And it's not good for you guys. What does AP mean in the weapons?
Armor piercing.
Oh yeah, that is an AP of 25.
Oh, that'll mess everything up. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like a very, 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 very powerful weapon.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing that I want you to keep in mind is that you're like one of the strongest people on this group. Ron Borg, what is your strength?
My strength is D12 plus 2.
The glitter boy is D12 plus 4.
Oh wow.
So if you were wielding,
Is it? Because on the character sheet it says D6. Nope, never mind. I see here in glitter boy armor, it's D12.
so
Yeah, I got
you
you.
could wield a weapon, and it might destroy the weapon after a couple of swings, but you'd be, if you wanted to not shoot the boom gun, you could at least wield something.
Oh, I've got a bunch of weapons. I've got a number of a few guns and a vibro knife.
Ooh.
So if I were to attack, like to roll for fighting, or what would that be? If
Yeah.
I wanted to use like my
Yeah.
vibro knife?
Fighting either one.
Okay. But that
If it's a gun, or a like arrow, you have to do shooting.
okay. And that's agility, but in fighting it says agility as well. It doesn't do anything with my strength.
So the agility thing is just because it's tied to that. That means that you can't up your skill higher than what that trait is at, like what that initial thing, like strength or agility or whatever, unless you have to spend more points or whatever. So like if your strength is at 6 and you have a skill tied to strength, you can't up it past D6 without spending extra points and whatever.
Okay. So if I were still to use my vibro knife, that would still be agility?
Well, it's fighting. Yeah.
Okay.
But then when you did damage, the damage
That
would be
would be strength. Okay.
And trust me, like you'll want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's dope. Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. We're all learning the system.
Yeah, they're good.
Let me think. So yeah, you don't have to fight these robots to get in necessarily, but you think that if you're going to try and avoid fighting them, like combat wise, you're going to have to come up with some kind of a really tricky method of getting past them.
Are
Okay.
the robots considered sentient? Are they something Terry can?
So they're not like artificial intelligent, but they're like they have like a rudimentary kind of programming that allows them to like differentiate targets and so on. But right now, at least from what Tevis is telling you, is that whatever comes in and tries to mess with the satellite, which you obviously will be doing, they're going to fight. And Tevis is saying like maybe if he was whoever he was before, he might have like come up and shown a badge and said, "Hey, I'm permitted to come in here," but he can't. He doesn't have the ability to do that any longer.
Why doesn't he have that ability right now? I mean, I might have missed that. Sorry, but
He didn't say, but basically he alluded to the fact that like in his current form, that's not a thing he can do, which means that it's possible that they can do like a face identification and a retina scan,
Biometric.
something.
so now I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask for backstory here, but
I mean,
I thought he was a relatively well-known politician, correct?
so what you've discovered is that that's not the case.
Okay.
He's not part of the coalition states at all. And the coalition lied to you about this mission. They were like, "Oh yeah, this like senator and his wife and kids, we were trying to bring them from this other place and the down transport. We really want them back. Please bring them back." And then you show up and you find out, no, that's not true at all. None of that was true.
Okay. Okay.
It seems interesting that that would be something that the Tomorrow League wouldn't know. Right? Is that I'm not super familiar with the Tomorrow League, but wouldn't they know that this isn't actually a politician?
We don't mess with the bureaucracy.
We didn't really look into it.
Well, everything about it checked out as it happened. There is like Joe Fiddleberg, I don't know what, senator in the coalition states. They used real identity and real people when they said, "Hey, this
Gotcha.
person's over here. We really need to get them extracted." Everything was as it should have been when they presented the job.
And
So-
I'm pretty sure this world doesn't have like an internet. Like I think I
Oh,
read
that's right.
doesn't have global communication.
That's
Therefore,
right.
it's kind of like in that way, even though there's advanced tech, it's like medieval times in which news is all local and
Yes,
you have to send information out.
that's right. I forgot about that.
We wouldn't know.
Not
I
unlike
forgot they have no
imposters,
Google.
There
No
are
Google. We can't Google this mode.
there are instances of what you might call an intranet. For instance, within the city of Chi-Town, which is the capital of the coalition states, they have communications that kind of communicate within their structure. but they don't talk to each other.
Mhm.
And their communications have at best potentially 100-mile radius. Everything past that is just completely non-communicable. And that's because nobody knows how to contact any of the satellites that blanket the regions of space just around the Earth,
Everything else is by Raven. Gotcha.
effectively.
Okay. Yes. That makes perfect sense. I should have thought of that explanation. Never mind me.
No worries.
I'm just
It-
Golden Boy is just gonna start sharpening his vibro knife.
Tevis, do you think that we could distract the robots and you could get in, or is there something like physical that you would need to do to get past them? Do they need a fingerprint on the arm you have left?
Well, I did my best to try and approximate my fingerprint, but I'm not sure that it will pass muster. My intention was to interface with the robots in question and shut them down from within.
Oh, I'm going to regret asking this in this group. Do we have anybody that's good at hacking?
Ooh, I'm pretty good at hacking. You get +2 to hacking.
Do you have your
Oh, that is-
rollerblades with you?
Well, yeah, my feet turn into rollerblades.
Is that +2 to hacking goodness?
I don't know, but I'm not like proficient in it or whatever. It's
So
interesting.
I might
Sounds
be.
like we need to employ the skills of razor and blade.
Murphy.
These sticks. And
I don't
hack.
know if we can get Tevis to electronically interact with the robots. That seems like a better choice.
So he elaborates that he believes he can only interact with one of them at a time, so he's going to be vulnerable. So it's like he can spend some time shutting one down, and then the other one's going to basically get to wail on him for a while. And if he survives that, he can then interact with the second one. That's his plan. He was just going to plan to do that when he set off on foot to come to this area. But if you want to help him with that plan in any way, shape, or form, great. If not, he's still intending to do exactly what he's telling you he's going to do.
Or maybe we employ the efforts of razor and blade.
Ish, what's ROF?
Rate of fire.
Okay. I have an ion pistol, and I was like, maybe that'll freeze them or something. But
Are we
it sounds
able
like it's just a gun.
Well, in a way, it does freeze them.
Yeah. Forever.
Yes. But yeah, it's up to y'all how you want to approach that. And he's just being completely forthright about what you should expect, or at least so far you seem to think that is the case.
You said he was going to go interact with one of them by hacking or by. How is he going to approach the one?
Yeah, he didn't say like, oh, this is the specific thing I'm going to do, but it seems like he's going to make some kind of physical contact and then interface with them digitally and be like, okay, like within X amount of seconds or whatever, I can shut this one down, and then I will be able to do the same thing to the other one.
Are we able to? Okay, what about let's if we distract the other one while Tevis works on the first?
That's
Yeah.
Gary, you can kind of dance around, can't you? Do some funny.
Terry? Oh, yeah.
Don't you have those devil sticks that you carry around?
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
it's a walking stick, but sure, I can use it as a few things. No, I'm sure they won't mind, giving access to a poor blind traveler. Sure, I can windle my way past these guys.
I'm sure that if I make my way anywhere near there, they'll be pretty distracted by me. I don't know if they are close enough that both of them will be pulled off if I'm used perhaps as bait or diversion, or if we can get one away to follow me, and then I blast them into pieces.
That could very well work. So, for those of you who are on the Roll20, I've brought up a map if you want to place yourselves there. It's not super necessary, but if you want to, you can.
So Golden Boy just offered to like lure it away and shoot it if he has to.
Mhm.
Lure one robot away and shoot if he has to. How far are we? Just a couple miles?
So yeah, he takes you a couple of miles further and kind of leads you through an access road that then goes down into a tunnel. Now this tunnel isn't like, oh, somebody built a tunnel that goes down. It's more like something collapsed and there's now this road that used to be like flat against the surface now is kind of like sunken in. And eventually you run out of road and are kind of traversing this weird subterranean ruins. And here there are actually some sort of intact buildings, but it has all been like covered over. It's like if you could imagine like the old Roman ruins that like it's been so long that they're just completely underground. That's kind of what this is. And so I've got this map of like what appears to be like a city street, and that's all there. Just it's all ruined and destroyed and underground.
So where's the satellite station relative to what we're looking at?
It is right ahead of you, and if you'll notice, I put these two robot-y type things with the red dots.
Okay.
They seem to be the guardians.
I have an idea. If you all stand far enough back, I can just make the first shot and try to blow them to smithereens. I don't know if that will destroy the satellite array as well.
It could potentially.
Is there much attention? How much attention will that cause to come?
Oh, a lot.
Demon deluge.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I too would
Right.
like to just kill these things.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to be non-violent, I think we've exhausted all of our options as far as getting around them.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not ideal for stealth, but I could rig up a bunch of really silent traps, cantrips and bear traps and the like. We could kind of infiltrate the area, place them as we go, get out of there really quick, and then kind of cause some type of disturbance that brings them our way right into the traps.
Do we have time for that? That sounds like a lot of stuff to do.
I could get you 6 or 7 in the next couple of minutes here. I mean, if we don't want to turn my ATV into a portable minigun, I could pull parts from it, which is why I brought it, and have 6 or 7 traps in minutes.
How big are these robots compared to our Borg Boy and Golden Boy?
They're pretty hefty, but you can tell that they're more solidly compact than anything. They're about 8 feet tall, a good 3 feet wide, and they just look like their arms are pistons. Their legs are, pneumatic, sorry. And they seem like they'd be pretty rough in a fight.
They're not stationary.
No, they are fully mobile.
Okay. Well, we could kill them all with like vibro swords and stuff.
Yeah, and for perspective, Golden Boy is about 10.5 feet tall.
So you're bigger, probably stronger.
I'm definitely bigger than him, but by a couple of feet. They're damn big.
So are we going with the original plan where Tevis is going to interact with one and we're going to take out the other?
How high is the roof on that building?
I'll say that it's about 15 feet tall to get up on the roof.
So we could scramble up there.
Someone could like ride piggyback on the glitter boy and get up there if you wanted to.
Hmm.
I mean, that sounds like something I could do.
I'm pretty stealthy too. Sneaky, sneaky.
But if you want, Glitter Boy is not getting, or Golden Boy is not getting up there without being seen, because either he's got to climb, and that's going to be obvious,
yeah.
or he has jet boosters, which I think is going to be even more obvious.
So yeah, can we get to the side of the building without being seen?
I would allow you to do so with a stealth check.
I am not good at that either.
Yeah, I'm going to turn to everybody else and say, I think it would be good for me to just stay here. And when you possibly need a distraction,
Backup.
send a signal, because chances are I'm not going anywhere near them with any of you unless I want all of them to see me and you.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll hang back with Golden Boy as well. Does anyone else have like a radio or a way to contact us?
I got a radio.
Backup? Cool. Me too.
For those of you who have hacking skills, that's going to be crucial in doing like secret radio communications, because otherwise you're kind of broadcasting it all over. But you can do like pointed encrypted radio communications if you have hacking.
I got +2 in hacking.
Rad.
See, yeah, mine says +2 to common knowledge, electronics, hacking, research, but it doesn't say that on the actual layout.
You're under the cybernetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Where do you read the +2? Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, mine's in the cybernetics.
I would have allowed that to give you like a basic, like even if you don't have a dice for it, that you would be able to do the thing.
Okay, cool.
And
I would hope so.
Ish.
Cyborg.
So if we're here, just so we're clear, guys, is the plan not to move beyond this section right here, namely these two things right here?
That's the idea.
What are these two things? Giant planners or pillars or what?
Yeah, they're just kind of like, some bric-a-brac, something that was placed into the front of this building, kind of like as a decoration.
Could I maybe create like a electrified wire field here that wires are suspended on the ground, and then I put a charge through them, and then they create a cage. We could create at least momentarily like disabling little fence for one of them.
You could do that.
Okay.
I would need some kind of a technology check or skill use.
All right. Science check.
Yeah.
Or electronics check, I guess, would be it.
Electronics sounds more appropriate.
There's my electronics. There's my wild.
Hey, roll that wild one again. That's better. So you deploy these two little tiny arachnids, like mechanical ones that are about this big, and they're carrying what is effectively a micro filament wire, and they're carrying it between them two, and then they kind of stretch it along until they've attached themselves to these planters and created a wire that runs from here to here. If you want to set that as a trap, and that's highly electrified. Like a person walking through that might die.
Sure. All right, I'll stay in communication with the arachnids. Second that I give them a one-way communication, boom, they discharge all of their battery into that wire for about 10 seconds till it depletes.
All right, so are you going to try and go around, or are you going to get these robots head on?
Well, we at least have created a trap, if not a blockade. we got one less route to worry about now, guys. Up to you.
I think Tevis, if you want to take the top one, I'll make my way towards this guy. You I'll distract and you can maybe do your thing and see how long I can hopefully hold off this one guy and let you do your
Yes.
thing on the second.
Beetlejuice, just to let you know, I can
Oh no! Oh god, he went in. No, I'm just kidding.
as long as I have my line of sight on you, you charge through that field in between those two planters, and I can have my arachnids crawl up or down. You could dive right through that thing and be cool. I could close it right behind you. If need be, that's your fallback.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll stay in constant radio communication. I'll let you know.
How are you trying to distract them, Beetle?
I'm just gonna walk up and start whistling away.
Oh, so you're not going to engage in combat immediately?
Not immediately. No, that is Plan B.
Wait, should
Right.
Plan B sound so much cooler than A?
Or should I wait? I think I might wait by this planter. Can I stealthily hide behind this planter and see
Yeah,
how
well,
Tevis interacts with them?
sure. And you can give me a stealth check if you like, just to see if you're well hidden.
Okay.
Once you've approached about here, if they've spotted you, they start scanning, and that's what they do to Tevis.
Cool.
Tevis approaches, and you can see these like infrared lights that are scanning him up and down. And at least this robot here takes a step forward and says in a very metallic kind of voice, like if you had someone with a voice box talking through like a McDonald's drive-through thing, that's about the way it sounds. But it's I can't do that. Who is approaching? Who dares approach the satellite station 475321?
Homie.
I don't think I succeeded on my stealth. I think you might have caught me.
You are scanned by this one, and it's just these harmless infrared lights that just
Okay.
shoot out, like scan you head to toe. And that one does the same. It steps there at least, and they're just asking for identification.
I am Beetlejuice.
Oh, God.
They both kind of aim their forearms at you, and like kind of like the super droids from Star Wars. They have these like guns that like arise out of their forearms and point at you, and they say, "You have 5 seconds to extricate yourself from the premises, or we shall open fire."
All right.
I'm going to come up to Beetlejuice, kind of go behind him, looking like a Daughtry old blind man. And, oh, there you are. And I'm going to say, oh, you found my handler. I'm going to just walk up to one of these behemoths. Can I walk past that thing, Seamus? That line on the ground?
I hope
No.
you told the blind guy about the
I hold him back. I say, no.
No. I have a constant eye on it. I can move my arachnids up and down, and they're not going to send a charge to it until I tell them. But
Okay.
I essentially,
That's fun.
Yeah.
I see them and I'm like, ugh, and I remote those arachnids to drop
Can
to
I-
the
I'm
ground
gonna-
and lower the tripwire.
I'm going to reach for one of the guy's arms guns, kind of blindly, and be like, "Oh, I'm just a man looking for a nice place to stay in this harsh environment."
I'm just a caveman.
My friend Beetle here, he says that there's a building ahead.
I see this going south real quick, and
You don't know? I'm a Daughtry old man.
I pull out my integral grenade launcher and I just ready.
So, Terry, with you approaching so closely, they both point their arm cannons at you,
I
What's-
wouldn't know.
and they're counting down
I
5, 4,
Oh,
3.
I grab Terry. I say we should probably get out of here a bit.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Beetle on this one. I thought this was gonna work better.
But at this point, I'm signaling to Tevis too to see like hey, now is your chance.
All right. So I mean, he's gonna go for broke, and he takes a step forward while they're distracted by Terry, and reaches out with his one good arm, and you see these little kind of mechanical tendrils come out of his hand and start to grapple onto this robot, and the robot like is about to shoot him with the arm cannon, but starts powering down. And you can hear kind of some like weird computer functions going on inside that robot. But the other one goes berserk and is going to start firing almost at random. So let's go ahead and do initiative just to see if you can deal with this robot before it deals harm to you. But let's see. Deal one card to all players. There we go.
Oh, sorry, I might have grabbed mine.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm not on Roll20 because every time I tried to get it going, the Zoom just completely like shit out. So
Oh, no.
yeah,
I do have the option of drawing a card for you, so I can do that.
that would be fine. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and remove the turn order. But
The 3 is mine.
all right.
And they're D6s for initiative?
No, it's cards.
Right. Okay.
So you have to turn over your card and you'll see where you are in the order.
Yeah.
All right.
Cha. 9
First-
of diamonds.
I have a 6 of spades.
All right. I'm going to actually count down. Does anybody have a face card, like a king or whatever? No. What about 10? Anybody at 10? Nine.
I don't. What did you
9.
give
Hey,
me?
you have a 5.
Okay.
8. Anybody at 8?
Wait, I don't think I pulled a card yet. Let me see.
You should have one by your name.
Sorry, did you give it? I have a 9. 9 of diamonds.
9.
Oh,
Okay.
I have an
That's-
8 of diamonds, if that matters.
Let's see. I don't think I added you yet. No, I didn't. Okay. Ron, you have a 9. Did I hear an 8? Anybody with 8?
Oh, sorry, 8 of diamonds, yes.
And that's for Terry.
Yeah.
All right. So then the robots are actually on a 7. Tevis, for what it's worth, is on a 6. Silas, our golden boy, is on a 5.
Is that robot gonna get any initiative since he's powering down?
Yes and no. They're basically going to kind of tussle. But let's see. All right, Beetlejuice, what is your initiative?
4 diamonds.
For Maynard.
I have 6 of spades.
Okay. And Tomiko.
3 of spades.
All right. Wow.
I had a thing come up that, and I don't know if I'm ruining everything by saying this, that is like, that's offering to let me steal a card, but then it's not letting me do it.
That's weird.
I was just trying to get rid of this. I have a big black box that says playing cards and it has all, and it has the deck.
Click on card again. The card. You're saying to get away, get that black box away?
Yeah,
Just
Oh,
click
you
on
got-
the card right above your name again.
I moved mine.
Oh,
Let's see.
Of
This might be weird, but I'm going to deal you a card and see if that'll let you click then on the card above your name so that you can close it.
Okay, so the new card that you dealt me is a King of Hearts, but I still can't close anything.
Oh, weird. You might just have to F5 to reload your roll 20 maybe.
Okay.
All right, is it closed?
Yep.
Okay. All right, we've got a pretty decent initiative going. The only tie we have is between Maynard and Tevis, and I'll let Maynard go first. I'm not super concerned about the suit. Did I miss anyone? I have Beetlejuice, Tomiko, Silas, Tevis, Maynard, Terry, Ron Borg.
So there is a suit order in Savage Worlds, but like if you don't care, then it doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
If it was like between y'all and like an enemy, I would have worried a little bit more.
Okay.
I think he said I have you gave me a 5.
That is correct.
Okay.
5 of hearts if that happens to come up later. All right.
Good for the
So
Tin
we
Man.
are- What's that?
Nothing. Never mind.
Oh. Ron Borg, you are first. You have, with your cybernetic acuity, seen the situation and are apt to react.
Cool. Which one of them is like shooting randomly?
This one, it's getting
Cool.
ready to shoot.
All right, I'm gonna come over here and like try and hit it with my vibro sword to keep it as quiet as possible.
Go ahead.
A built-in vibro longsword.
Nice.
So it's strength. So what do I roll strength first, right?
You roll fighting first.
Fighting. I'm
And
good
I
at
think that was something we had gotten.
And then okay, cool. So then do that, and then a d6 as well.
Correct.
So 8 on that.
Well,
Well, you
no,
don't
they
add,
don't
you
add
take-
together.
unless your fighting is +2 for whatever reason.
Oh, it is not.
Okay, so yeah, you just take the higher of the two, but
Okay,
that's still enough. Go ahead and roll damage, which is going to be the damage of the sword and the damage of your strength.
so yeah, strength plus d10. MD. What's MD?
Mega damage.
Sweet. So d12 plus 2. So 9.
And
Was
damage
it?
you do add together. So go ahead
Okay,
and roll
cool.
whatever the weapon damage is.
Sweet. And then a d10 as well. So 18 total.
Excellent. Now, this robot is especially tough. So you did not get a raise on that, but you do manage to inflict 1 wound.
Oh, cool.
We're going to signify that with an orange dot. All right. So that was your turn. We go now to Terry. What would Terry like to do?
Terry loves yogurt.
Terry's still trying to figure out how to use this stupid PDF. So I
Is it in Braille?
exactly. God, I don't know how to like. I assume these people don't have any kind of. I mean, I couldn't really use telekinesis on these or like a puppet on these things, right? Like to control their mind, right?
You might be able to. They have a mind of sorts, and it's very basic. So if you wanted to try and like do some kind of mind control on them, I would allow you to at least try.
I'm gonna use actually. You know what? I'm gonna do. I can smite, but I can only do it to myself. Okay. I'm gonna stun one of them.
Sure.
So
sounds-
the one that hasn't been damaged yet, I'm gonna try and hit with a stun.
Are you sure you want to do that? The one that hasn't been damaged is being interfaced with by Tevis.
Oh, then no, I don't want to do that. I'm trying to figure out like my character right now. But yeah, then I'll stun the one that is not being interfaced with. And
Go ahead and make me, what is it, like a psychic something? Just a
so,
psychic.
what does RNG mean? It means
Gee.
SAM? I have no idea what
So
this is.
stun is usually a psionic roll.
How would I
Oh,
figure-
RNG must be range. So it means you can do it at range. But then the other one, what did you say it was?
So I have it just says basically PP is 2, RNG is SAM, DUR is 1, and target is stunned is the effect. And I'm just trying to figure out how this works.
So what's your range?
It just says SAM.
I think that stands for like short something and whatever.
So you can stun
Short,
from
medium, and long.
Short,
from
medium,
a
all.
distance, and it's usually a psionic roll to activate your stun.
Psionic. How do I know what my psionic roll is?
Should be like lower left on your character sheet.
Lower left. I don't see anything.
Weird science. Do you have weird science?
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna hit it with a stick.
You have -1 psionic skill for each strain.
I don't even see the word psionic on this, and I'm doing a find on
Here, I was looking.
Top right.
top right. Okay,
Under cybernetics, there's a -1 psionics.
Cybernetics. Oh God. Okay. I have -1 psionic skill for each strain.
Okay. Do you have a weird science anywhere? Do you have a
No.
weird science skill activated?
Let me see. I have a science. That's it.
What are you using? One of your powers?
I'm trying to.
Which one?
I'm just trying to use stun.
Okay.
So I don't know Ish because I don't know. I can't see his character sheet. I don't know what his character.
I'm at it right now. Okay. So do you see where all your skills are?
Yeah. No.
So at the very bottom of that skill cluster, it's going to say
Oh.
arcane skill. And one of them says psionics, and that is a D8.
Oh God. Okay. So-
But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to roll a D8 along with a D6.
Oh, okay. D6, D8.
All right. You got a 5, and that is enough. That seems to have done the trick. Would somebody be so kind as to look up what stunned does, like what the effect is?
So it freezes them.
Okay, so they're not able to act.
They're not able to act until they unshake.
So they can use their next action to attempt to do so.
Yes. So the robot will have to use its next action to try to unshake.
Perfect.
Andre's easier.
Right.
Rage hit.
So can I just have total side note that my fella is constantly railing on D&D for being so complicated. And he's like, Savage Worlds is so simple. Savage Worlds is so simple. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, it's like it is not any more streamlined. It's just a whole different set of shit. But if he wants to believe that, that's fine. Whatever.
Every game is dramatically easy once you've played it once or twice.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Good point.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I've been trying to edit my PDF this entire time too, and you'd be surprised how hard that is because
Oh God.
I can't edit this one because it's password protected for some reason. I'm like, I give up. So anyway, I stun.
So that's great because now that guy's not going to do anything, and it is his turn. So he's going to try and do that. And I believe that is a vigor roll, and he's actually got a really good vigor check, but does not roll terribly well, so he does not succeed. Remains stunned. Maynard, what would you like to do?
Are these guys still within a 5, 10, 20 range?
Yep.
I look at my high explosives and I weigh the friendly fire damage. And I go with my plasma. I load a plasma grenade into my integral grenade launcher.
A grenade?
Grenade.
You want to shoot an explosive device into friendly zone of fire?
Can
He
I
waved that.
Proud of us.
I aim to put it to ta.
Okay.
Do you know how grenades work?
If I put it behind it, I mean, I'm weighing these options. I'm using the cybernetic optics.
Yeah. Go ahead. You may do so.
Gosh.
Oh God, this is the second time Terry's going to be too close to an explosion.
I'm gonna grab Terry and just start coming backwards.
Light station. Like, don't we not want to fuck it up?
Oh, that's it. And that
I
would
like
be
for the physical property is what he's like. Oh wait, maybe I don't want to hurt. the
Yeah,
physical
no.
Exactly.
I totally forgot
My
about it, and
friends.
it's right there. It's literally where I would have put my grenade.
We're all right there.
Great or good, you know.
Uh-huh.
No.
So we're trying to keep it quiet.
I did
Yeah,
say.
that's the other thing too.
Oh, all right. So I'm looking at my plasma, and I'm itching, and I put it back in my whatever you call it, the Bayero or whatever we established,
Yeah.
whatever that thing is called. This is what we'll do. I will spend my turn doing a MacGyver, where the hero can improvise a device from common resources, which will be my infinitely modular ATV vehicle. And I take the tracks, some gears, one of its power cores, and the plate armor from one side of the vehicle. And I craft a device that elevates it in the air
Mm-hmm.
and do similar to what I did last time, where I dock my laser pistol and use the energy core to amplify it, and the modern plates to extend the barrel and to extend the stock
Sure.
and elevate me up with it, but it will take my entire turn.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. All right. That being said, Tevis is going to engage into a contest with this creature. Let's see.
Really
With the robot, I should say. Whoops, that was okay, but still. And the robot is going to attempt to resist. And they're kind of locked in this kind of cybernetic combat, which you just see that they're like kind of locked into place. But you can, anyone who knows about like these machines, is that they're having this like intense cybernetic warfare. Think Reboot, but more fun.
I imagine the scene in Hackers where he cuts him off at the pass, and it's Penn Jillette fighting the other hacker. That's
Oh,
exactly what
shut up. He was in that movie.
Yeah, he's like the security guy.
Yeah.
Golden Boy, it is your turn.
Okay, so since I can't see the map, I don't know how far away I am.
You're about like 20 feet away from the action.
Okay, so when it talks about range, is that in like on our weapons? Is that in feet?
Yeah, it tends to be. But really
Okay.
they kind of abstract range into like short, which is like you're right there, medium, like you know,
Yeah.
anywhere between like 10 and is 60 feet, and then like long, which is something like that, right?
So
Yeah.
the three ranges, if you're right there, it's going to be a normal roll. If it's
Right.
medium, you're -2 or -1. I think it's -2 though. And if
Yeah, I
it's
think so.
long, then you're -4. It might be
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah, so I want to pull out my Wilkes 227 laser pulse pistol, but the first range, the short range, is 15. I imagine I can get up there. My pace and my armor is 14 plus D8, so I imagine I can get
He's still-
within 15?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna like emerge from the bushes or whatever, or wherever I was hiding before.
And I don't know if this is helpful at all, but on Discord I sent you a screenshot of the map.
Oh, that has not come up on Discord, but I will check that here in a little bit. Yeah, so do I get any sort of bonuses because I'm gonna fire on the stunned one?
Yeah.
Do I get any sort of
How would you represent that? I guess a +2 would be appropriate.
+2? Okay, so I'm gonna roll to shoot. So I'm gonna roll a D8 and a D6. Whatever I get a +2.
Yep.
Okay, so I got a 6 on the D8, so that's an 8 total on that one.
Excellent. So that's totally a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
Well, it's
All right.
What's that?
it's a raise because it's an 8.
Yeah, actually. So what happens with
Oh,
raise
so I don't have to. Oh, okay. So what does that mean?
So it just means it's going to be like maximum damage. Like
Oh.
whenever
Oh,
you
okay.
calculate, not maximum, but when you calculate how much damage it does, because it was a raise, it's going to be more than it would have been if it was a 6.
Oh, great. Yeah, perfect. So it says damage is 3d6, but
Yeah.
it also says it's a 3 burst round. So does that mean that I'm firing all 3 rounds at this and I
can.
just
You can, but if you do, you would have to roll an additional 2 dice for the attacks.
Okay, so for that first one, I get to roll the 3d6 for that first round, but then I get to
Yes.
roll 2 more times.
Correct.
Okay, that's cool. That
And
is
by the way,
awesome.
You don't roll the wild dice on all of them. Basically, if you're doing a burst, you roll the wild dice once and can apply that wild dice to one of the bursts. If that makes
Oh,
sense.
okay. Yeah, I don't remember what the wild dice was on that.
So it was less than what you told us was 6.
It was
Yeah.
it was less than the 6 I rolled on the 8. Yeah, I think it was pretty low. I think it was like a 2. So the wild dice probably won't help a whole lot. But for that first roll, I have 15 damage total.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not rolling the wild die. I'm just rolling the D8
And
plus 2.
And remember that on damage rolls, those can explode too. If that makes
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay, because I got 2 D6s.
Then re-roll those.
Oh shit, man. Okay, so okay, and that's another 6 and a 5 for an 11. So I'm
Holy
gonna roll
cow.
this last 6,
Make sure you
and
keep
that's a
that.
1. Sorry,
I was just saying, make sure you keep the count of all of that.
it was 15 plus 11 plus 1.
6,
That last D6 was a 1.
27, yeah.
Sword.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so second of the 3 burst round, just the D8s.
Hold on,
Oh.
Jen, were you going to add something?
So when you rolled your 2 D6s, did both of them have 6s?
Yes,
Okay.
it was 2 6s and a 3.
Golden boy, baby.
And 2 of the 6. Okay. So, okay.
And so I re-rolled 2 6s, and I got a 6 and a 5, and so I re-rolled that 6, and that was a 1.
Perfect. Okay. Sorry, I just couldn't keep track of all the dice. Okay.
That's cool. On the second of the 3 burst round, I got another 6, so that is also an 8.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
You may not have to
Um,
make that third roll. Just put it that way.
what?
You may not have to make that third burst. We'll see
Okay,
how
well-
this one turns out.
Well, this one was a total of 9 damage, 4, 4, and a 1. So
Okay.
not as
That
impressive.
one was, yeah. So go ahead and make your next one.
Okay. That is a 1. I don't remember what the wild die was, but I don't think it was much better.
You'll want to take the wild dice because it was a 2. Because if
Okay.
you don't, that's a critical fumble.
Oh, okay. Then I will take the 2 for a total of 4, which is a miss. Then
So your first attack did phenomenally. It blasted through this thing's reinforced armor. The second one kind of bounced off one of its stronger armored plates, and then the third one just missed entirely. But that was your fantastic. Like, you just went in there and you shot at this thing 3 times and did grievous damage to this thing. But
and Golden Boy, as he's launching this out there, he goes, "Yeah, that's how Daddy taught me."
all right.
Ish, can I ask a quick question?
Golden Man.
Go ahead.
As part of my MacGyver, it does say, given a few simple items, he can make a repair roll to craft improvised weapons, which is my MacGyver roll.
Yeah.
So is that repair roll on my MacGyver? So I should have rolled it, or would you prefer it that I roll it on my next turn to see if it, because that roll is based on if it succeeds or not with crafting my improvised.
I would say you do it on the turn that you declare it. So, like last turn when you did your MacGyver thing, you could have rolled it then.
You want me to make a quick roll?
Sure.
All right. The MacGyver uses my repair roll, which is a D10, plus my wild. Wow. Wait, I rolled a D12. I'm sorry.
You should be.
Yeah, I know. Less. So there's my D10. 4.
All right.
and my
You
wild.
succeeded for what it's worth.
Okay,
You just don't get any raises, but that's all right.
that's all right. We can proceed now. Sorry.
Cool. No worries. Beetlejuice.
I kind of I take Terry and I just kind of push him aside and kind of try and slide through this guy's legs to get behind him.
Sure.
Then I take out my vibro knife and see what kind of circuitry behind him, if I see any, to start cutting away with.
Absolutely. Do it, and just don't forget you've got a +2 on this roll because he is stunned.
Oh yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, and that's gonna be a fighting. Ouch. So
Well, forget
3.
your wild dice. Roll a d6. Okay, not a critical failure. That could have been really bad. But you do hit on the bright side because you're just going for a 4. You barely hit, but you hit. So go ahead and do damage. And remember, with the vibro knife, you're adding your strength as well. So roll whatever your strength dice is, whatever the damage is, you're adding it all together. And if any of those hit their max number, you roll again.
Okay, perfect. D6, D6. A 1 and a 5.
That's not bad. Given that you're kind of getting up close in there, I will say that you have done enough damage to bring this thing low. And just for the sake of expediency, Tevis has done the same. He has deactivated this robot. This one's in perfect shape, and you think if you were interested in doing so, you could recover that robot, maybe do something with it later. Just on the open market, for the fact that this thing is in pristine condition and 300 years old and from like the world that came before the cataclysm, someone might pay a pretty penny for it, even just as a collector. But it's up to you if you wanted to recover that. But that's
So
just
what
What's
are
that?
edges? Because I have Scrounger to locate useful supplies. Is
yeah.
that something I could use?
Usually an edge is something that you can like a special ability that you can use. You can scrounge, and in fact this is probably a really good place to do so, but it would maybe take more time than you you could do right now. Because you
Okay.
guys are like, okay, we've destroyed these, or we've nullified these robots. There might be things coming after us right now, and we need to come in here and do this thing that Tevis thinks is super important and was willing to walk thousands of miles in a borrowed robot body to do. So you probably want to do that before you do any scrounging.
Sounds good. Yeah.
You are able to gain entry into this building with more of Tevis's digital manipulation and enter. And this entire interior of the satellite station is ice cold. You think it's being kept this way through some kind of a power source. It seems to be completely sterile. And in fact, all of you are kind of greeted in this place with a kind of burst of some kind of powder. And you hear like a robotic voice that says, you have now been sterilized. You are granted permission to enter the facility.
Sound of that.
Nice. Got the vaccine.
Delousing.
Basically. I'm so sorry. Can you give me just one moment? I'll be right back.
Tastes like powdered sugar, sir.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
What word did you use? Sterilized? You've now been sterilized?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I never was
Luscious, you can't spring your immaculate seed.
Oh, what's really rough is Terry didn't know this, so his eyes were open.
Ouch.
I'm blind again.
So Maynard, are you gonna grab that pristine robot on our way out, probably?
Oh, you bet your ass I'm gonna Mr. Fix-It those things.
Okay.
And actually, yeah, guys, I gotta hop off tonight. I'm actually not feeling so hot all of a sudden, but I'll be. I got my second vaccine today, actually.
Did you really?
Oh,
Yeah,
did you?
I'm just hitting a wall.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what's going on with you.
But
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks for sure. I'll be back on the 24th
Hey Ryan,
for the game.
please don't be Kevin Bacon. All right,
No,
Be
Meryl Streep.
please be Meryl Streep.
He's
Well,
gonna
it's
be
Meryl
John
Streep.
C. Reilly. We all know it.
What do you?
At least be the little boy from Jurassic Park.
He's not in that movie.
Wait,
Yeah, he
where
is.
are you going?
He's the little boy in that movie.
Oh man.
What are you guys talking about, Ryan? What are you doing?
I'm going on a river trip, and they're talking about the River Wild, where Kevin
Oh, you're
Bacon,
going to
like,
Grand Canyon though, right?
yeah, great, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, better than Deliverance, I guess.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Also, don't be anything from Deliverance.
yeah, we're gonna
Nothing.
watch out for that. Or don't worry, I'm not in Georgia. It's gonna be fine.
Bye, buddy. Feel better.
Hey, yeah, no worries.
Good luck.
You guys have a
Yeah,
good one. We'll
man.
be in touch.
Don't get
Ciao.
don't get absolutely plastered for a week. It will inhibit the effects of the vaccine.
No, it just helps.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Yeah, later, guys.
See ya. Good luck.
Night.
Later,
Thanks,
buddy.
guys.
Luscious, your shirt is so goddamn awesome, by the way.
What is
I'm
it?
like as I'm actively doing this, I'm building my Rift character and my new PDF. It's really a stupid thing. I
You know, at this point, it's been so long, and I know we haven't seen each other a lot, but
Man.
I've seen you a few times. But I've got at least, and I've got a Christmas present for all of you, but Luscious's is apropos.
Well, what's great is last week, I realized I was also wearing a different Macho Man shirt. So it's like, it's just all I own.
I just had it in my mind that our house game at the Canadians would eventually start back up sometime during quarantine, and it didn't.
Taking time. Well, with this game, it's hard to have the house one too. Oh, shit. That is glaring, but I know exactly what it is. Now,
Yeah.
I spent a upsetting amount of money on a Macho Man Randy Savage that comes in a Slim Jim package.
Oh my god.
Yeah. like an offensive amount of money for him.
That sounds well worth it, though.
Oh yeah, it was that or retire.
So ish, Ryan had a dip.
Oh, shoot.
Oh
Okay.
man, Randy.
Well, this might be a good place for me to kind of narratively walk us into the ending credits, as it were, for this episode. But you all kind of pile into the satellite station, and you are led by Tevis, who seems to know this place relatively well and kind of navigates the corridors until he gets to this giant control room. And without much ado, he interfaces with one of the kiosks and just basically just kind of reaches out his robotic tendrils into it. And you see that there are a number of screens. And before long, you realize that these screens are actual satellite visual feeds. And one of them zooms in very Google Earth-like onto your location. And you see what appears to be an orbital satellite laser that starts as like a pinpoint and starts to grow larger. And it's not on your specific point, but it's somewhere in St. Louis. But he is activated some kind of satellite laser to shoot at some location within St. Louis, or former St. Louis, as it were. And that's where we're going to stop.
What the fuck? Oh,
At least it's
that's
not on
fucked
our
up.
location.
No.
Yeah, I know, but there seems like there's a hell of a lot more that
You know,
this fucker hasn't told us.
yeah, I've said it. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. You can't trust the French.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
And he's French Canadian.
Yeah, especially the French Canadian in this.
Well,
Oh boy.
Like,
And
I love
it's
it, French.
it's hard to know of Tevis Francois and his origin because it dates back 300 years. Like the country he's from may not exist anymore. In fact, it doesn't.
That's a good point.
In all essence, but all the same, you're not even sure if that's his real name. But there's a lot to consider for next time. What will you ask Tevis? Is he going to tell you the whole truth? And what exactly is going to happen with his ability to control satellites? Something that has not been accomplished likely for the 300 years that the Cataclysm has seen this world through. So there's a lot of questions to be asked. Very few of them will be answered. But I want you to kind of consider that as the cliffhanger for this episode.
So what were the other things you said we should consider? Like what's going to happen if he controls the satellite? But what did you say before that?
Is he going to tell you all like the whole truth about everything? What are his intentions, and so on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. What are we gonna ask him? Like, oh man, we've created a monster.
Yeah.
almost always.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
So
Uh,
I'm kind of building my character, and I was just I'm not kind of I'm just trying to make a PDF that makes sense. When I look at things like Hero's Journey, and it says like Training 4 and Psionics 16, what does that mean?
I'm not sure. Let me poke around.
I'm pretty sure. So where is that located?
It's on the bottom right.
It's in the ability cyberware table results. The bottom, yeah. The bottom.
Oh, okay. Spend a narrative hook.
I always forget to use those as a resource. And my like MacGyver ability allows me a free reroll. So I probably out of a D12 could have gotten better than a 4 had I seen that
Probably.
moments earlier.
So I'll have to look through this book to get a better idea. And do you have the books did I send them to you?
I don't
Because
know.
if not, I can certainly do that. I'll send them through the through email so that we're all on the same.
I love these mechanics, by the way. As much as they are, they've got their own learning curve, as do all of them. Oh, what's the $4 or $5 PDF? I'm having trouble finding what online I should download because I'll pay the money just so I can get the official reference material to read through.
So what you're going to want to do is get the Savage Worlds Adventure. That's SWADE. Savage Worlds Adventure Deluxe Edition. That's like a $10 PDF, right? And I can link that to you. But then you're also going to want to get the Savage Worlds Rifts, the Tomorrow Legion Player's Guide. And that should have basically everything you need. The other books are like Savage Foes of North America and the Game Master's Handbook, and you don't really need those. By the way, that's just a really fetching picture of like a spellcaster and like a giant rift and like some demon coming through it.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
But anyhow, yeah, I'll link you to all of that momentarily. And by the way, let me go ahead. Thank you for everyone who's watched. I'm just going to end the stream and then we can keep talking. Thank you to everyone who's watched. Yeah. Thank you as always. And hopefully you have had fun and you were able to put up with all of our silly indulgences, most of all mine. We're going to go ahead and end the stream, but catch us tomorrow for War Drums of Mount Nimro and on Thursday for more Dragon Quest IV.